So, Samsung Mobile posted this article today. And I'm telling you right now, in the next couple years, we might see Oppo become one of the biggest phone companies out there. Because when it comes to how much effort they're putting into this to become, huge and go international, obviously not international yet, but with how much effort they're putting into putting out the best product possible, you gotta love it. First off, they create a phone that's really what the consumer wants. A more or less what looks more or less like a Surface Duo 1 that obviously only goes 180 degrees, but has an outside display that's big enough to use like a phone and a beautiful inside display. They get rid of the crease, which a lot of people complain about. They promise 4 to 5 years of software updates, which is absolutely insane and crazy and amazing. And now they're following not really as much in Samsung footsteps here. They're following more in Google's footsteps, where Google has created their own Tensor chip. It looks like Oppo might be creating their own Marley Silicon X Oppo chip. Which, in all honesty, as a company, the least you can do to have to rely on other companies out there, the better your product will be. Because you have Google, right, who's about to release the Google Pixel Fold. We already know the Pixel Fold is using Samsung's displays to create their Pixel Fold. So, as long as you are taking from other companies to make your product, you're somewhat still going to be below that company. Well, Oppo, the walk is the walk and the talk and the talk. So, this article does read, Apple, Huawei, and Samsung were the only smartphone brands that have had their own mobile processing unit. Recently, Google started developing its own smartphone chipset in partnership with Samsung's System LSI division. Of course, this is for their foldable phone, but the Tensor G1 chip and now G2 chip is what they're talking about. While LG and somebody told me how to say this, I still gonna butcher it, did some work in the area, they never shipped mass market products in their house processors. Now, one smartphone brand is reportedly developing its own chipset. According to the tipster Ice Universe, which is a leaker we have heard many positive / correct reports from, Oppo is developing its own smartphone chipset, and its first smartphone with its in-house chipset is expected to launch in 2024. The Chinese firm reportedly has thousands of engineers working on the SoCs. It is possible that other BBK electronic brands, including OnePlus, Realme, Vivo, IQO, would use Oppo chipset. Oppo has developed a few chipsets for smartphones that have improved camera processing, display smoothness, and wireless connectivity. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why it is so freaking important. Yes, like I said, relying on other companies is a huge thing, but how do you get Oppo to go worldwide? How do you get Oppo to get that next level where they can actually have enough money to go international? They have to have something that propels their business to that next level. Having your own chipset, having other companies now literally use you as a supplier, use you as a resource to, make their products. You get that money, you make the money, you create more products yourself, you can skyrocket. This isn't for 2024, so obviously right now, we're talking about a year from now. But it's possible, guys. And this is what I will say right now. I might be incorrect when I said that that by 2025, this foldable phones will not become a mainstream device. But I'll say right now, I did not expect Oppo to come out with this shell right now. I did not expect to see Oppo is going to create their own chipset, which again propels them to becoming not only a great phone manufacturer, but now a huge supplier. It is still unclear if Oppo would bring its in-house chipset directly to its high-end phones, or it would start with affordable phones in mid-range devices. This is probably what they're going to do. The reason why I say this is because the high-end devices, those are the devices that everyone kind of expects greatness from, right? When you buy a fine-end 5G or fine-end 2, you really are expecting a certain level of quality. And Oppo has done a great job at delivering that quality, right? So when it comes to their own chipset, you probably want to start off slow, kind of, okay, well, these phones are going to have this chipset, see how it works, see how people like it. When Apple released the M1, not every single product they had the M1 chip yet, right? Because they wanted to see how it worked, how it liked it, how the consumer reacted to it. Maybe it just won't work, right? So soft, slow, but the big thing here is being the manufacturer and the distributor to other companies. That's the thing. Getting that money flow into your company to help build it to that next level, that's what's actually important and what will put Oppo on top of the map. Qualcomm is currently the absolute best in terms of smartphone chipset performance and efficiency in the Android segment. However, MediaTek is closing in on its Dynasty 9000 series chips and have been pretty impressive. Samsung System LSI, which is once the second best in the Android smartphone chipset, has fallen behind. The Exynos 2100 and Exynos 2200 chipsets haven't been as power efficient as MediaTek or Qualcomm counterparts. GPUs inside Exynos chipset has not been as powerful. They throttle quite fast under sustained loads. Hence, Samsung MX, which makes smartphones, has decided to form its own chipset development and with some of the best engineers. And that's what I said, guys. Listen, I'm going to out the video with this. As we get higher and higher on Android levels, so right now we're Android 13, 14, 15, 16, more and more Android is becoming more optimized for foldable phones and foldable tablets, right? And as that continues to grow and continues to get better, we're going to see this market really expand, right? Because the biggest issue with the Surface Duo 1 and 2 was software. Now, if you now take, right, that's one aspect. Now the different aspect is competition. And now when you have a company like Oppo or all these other companies creating their own chipsets, now you're just making products better, and you're also making products a lot more affordable, because I'm going to guess Oppo's chipset, especially if these companies, Huawei, wherever, do not have to go straight to Samsung, do not have to go straight to a different distributor. It makes everything cheaper when you have different companies creating their own chipsets, because you can kind of mix and match. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. And I can't wait to report on this channel the day I can say Oppo is going international and we can all buy their product. It's going to be a beautiful day, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.